ever heard of jollof rice? Yeah? Good. Now imagine cooking jollof rice without rice. Hello gracious ones and welcome back to my channel. It's still your girl Grace. The name hasn't changed. Grace, you can call me the gracious one, that's fine. And today I just want to talk about how you can apply for your provisional driver's license in the UK as a non-UK citizen. So if you stick with me, I'm going to run you quickly through the step-by-step process. I'll just be concentrating on the non-UK citizens and explaining how you can apply online, and that's it. So you might be wondering, why do you need a provisional driver's license? I would give you the reason why you need one, and then go ahead to let you know how you can get one. So first and foremost, if you're in the UK and you plan to get a full UK driving license, there is a process to that. You will need to do your theory and practical tests before you get that. And to do your theory and practical test, getting this provisional license is a prerequisite for that. So you will need to get a provisional driver's license to follow through the process. So it's the first step. So that's why you need to get it. Okay. Now, another reason you should get this provisional driver's license is that it is a valid ID in the UK. And if you're in the UK, you know how important having a valid ID is. And interestingly, the validity period is 10 years, so nothing to lose. This costs £34 for your first provisional driver's license. Now let's go to the steps quickly. The very first step will be to go to the gov.uk website and search for provisional driver's license, and then click apply for first provisional driver's license. I'm going to do that search and get this link. So I'll leave the link in the description box. You click the link, then click start now, and then follow through with my explanations. The first question you'll get will be this: have you been issued with a Great Britain provisional driver's license before? You will choose no, because of course you haven't. The next question: where is your current address? So you choose the one that applies to you. In my case, I chose England. The next question is, do you have a UK passport? You would say no, because you do not have a UK passport. It takes you to the next page, which says, as you do not have a UK passport and this service is new, you will need to apply using your old online service. So it diverts your application to another page, which is the old online application service, and that's where you're going to fill your form in. When you get to the form, which is this page showing on the screen now, you need to read all the instructions carefully, understand it and digest it. This is a guide, doesn't stop you from reading the instructions. Okay, so you have 5 different key areas to fill. The first part is the authentication. Under the authentication, the first 2 lines are basically information you need to read and digest. On the 3rd line, you are expected to enter your details. The details you need to fill there are your title, Mr., Miss, Doctor, whatever. Okay, your full name, which is your first name, your surname, your gender, your date of birth, and then your country of birth. The 4th line, under authentication, you have to fill in your addresses for the last 3 years. So last 3 years addresses, okay? And then you move to the other part, which is the 5th line. You have security details. Under security details, you are expected to enter the following: your home or daytime telephone number. This one is not mandatory. So anyone you does not asterisk is not mandatory. If you want to put it, fine. If you have it, fine. Then your birth surname, that's your surname as it is when you were giving birth to. Mother's maiden name. If you don't know your mother's maiden name, you leave it as unknown. Your place of birth. That means the town, city, or region where you were born. You write it in there. The next thing you're supposed to provide is your national insurance number. This is not a mandatory field, it's optional, but the information is that the national insurance number would help to process your application faster. So if you have it, why not put it in there? And then the last part asks if you have a passport, UK passport, you put in the details. Since you don't have a UK passport, you're going to skip the last part of the authentication questions, which is number 1. Then you move to number 2 of the form, which is application. The very first line is asking, are you eligible? So you will see under the are you eligible question, you have like two subsections, which is the residency and then disqualification. Under residency, you'll be asked, have you lived in another country in the last 12 months? So when I filled my own, I had been in the UK for over 1 year before I filled my own form. So of course my answer was no. I had not lived in another country in the last 12 months other than the England. So if you have lived or you just came into the UK 3 months ago, yours will be yes. So please, that's why I said I'm not going to be giving you the answers. I'm just going to make you understand what you need to fill. So have you lived in another country in the last 12 months? Then under disqualification, you'll be asked, are you currently disqualified from driving? So that's for the first line under application. The second line, you have your eyesight. Here, they want to know if you can meet the legal eyesight standard for driving, okay? And also if you need to wear glasses or corrective lenses to meet the standard. Those are the 2 questions you will need to answer in this section. Next, we'll move to fitness to drive. That's the 3rd line on the application. Here you'll be asked some medical questions. You are expected to tick only the medical conditions that you currently suffer from or you have ever suffered from. Okay, so there's a whole list of medical conditions. You select whichever is applicable to you, and if none is applicable to you, you move forward. So if none is applicable to you, meaning you didn't select any of the conditions, the next page will take you to what is known as the medical declaration page. There you'll be checking a box to say, I confirm that I do not suffer from or any of these conditions. But in a case whereby you do and you selected any of those conditions, the next page will not be a medical declaration page for you, to be a medical referral page for you. Medical referral because they're going to need further information from you or your doctor to confirm that you meet the medical standards for fitness to drive. It means at the completion of your form, a copy of the information they need or a letter will be sent to your doctor to confirm if you can drive. So that's just the difference between a yes or a no, or medical conditions or no medical conditions, as the case may be. For the 4th line, we have further information. Under further information, what you have there are two things. Organ donation. So here the DVLA, yeah, which is the body in charge of the driver's license, and the NHS have partnered together to see how they can get people who need organ transplants, donors. Okay, so this is an opportunity for them to ask if you want to be a donor. So there are 2 options there in red. One says, yes, I want to join the NHS organ donor register, then continue with my DVLA driving license application. And then the second option says, I would like to complete my DVLA driving license application first and find out more when I have finished. So these are all hyperlinks. So if you click on whichever one you want, it now takes you to a page where you continue your application or join the register first and then continue your application, whichever option works for you. Okay, and then the next step will be to fill in your email address. You write your email address and you confirm it. That takes us to the last step under the application form, which is declaration. Here you declare by checking a box that you understand that it's a criminal offense to have made any false declaration or withheld any material information in order to obtain the driving license. And you could be prosecuted and given a fine of up to £1,000 or even imprisonment for a period of up to 2 years or both if you have withheld any information just to get the driving license. Okay, and then we'll move to the third part, which is summary. Okay, the summary part is all the things you filled in authentication and application brought together for you as a form, so you can see all the answers you've entered. So you check if they are correct, and if they're not correct, you can also change it at this point. If there is any mistake, you can correct the mistake at this point. If you've checked everything is okay, or you've done the corrections and you're good to go, you move to the next step. And the next step is simply payment. You pay your £34 at this point by entering your card details appropriately. Once you're done with that, you confirm that you're good to go. At this stage, I can say congratulations, because you have successfully completed your online application. That's the part you have to do at this moment. It's now up to the DVLA review your application. Next stage, you would get a mail via post, which you would need to complete the manual form in that mail and send back. So it's a process. So I'll be doing another video to explain that process, so that this video would not be excessively long. We're going to end it here. So this is the end of part 1. Watch out for part 2. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you. I love you all. Stay graceful, and I'll see you in part 2.